Hi, boys and girls. We are moving on now to reptiles. We talked about amphibians before, and now we are moving on to reptiles, and we're going to kind of compare them here in the next couple lessons. So, reptiles. Let's look at the first paragraph up here. Snakes, lizards, turtles, tortoises, crocodiles, and alligators are reptiles. Reptiles live in many different habitats. Some live in moist or wet habitats such as swamps, streams, ponds, lakes, or oceans. Other reptiles live in dry areas such as open wooded hillsides, grasslands, or deserts. Reptiles that live in dry areas may live under rocks, logs, and leaves, in construction debris, or in abandoned farm buildings. Most reptiles are carnivores. So we got some things to highlight. First, let's highlight that first sentence. Snakes. Oh, you know Mrs. Shreddy and snakes. Lizards, turtles, tortoises, crocodiles, and alligators are reptiles. Ooh. All right, and it says that they kind of can live in different places. Now, our amphibians, they needed to kind of stay closer to some water, right? Reptiles are all over the place. If you think even just about snakes, you can have snakes that are in the water, that live near the water, or swimming around in the water, and you can have snakes out in the deserts. So they can kind of be anywhere, these reptiles. And the construction debris one, woo, could you imagine walking up to something, and maybe some of you have had an experience where you went into a barn or you lifted something up and there was like a snake there or something. Miss Shreddy would have a heart attack, but they can kind of be anywhere. You never know where they're going to pop up. The other thing I want you to highlight is that most, not all, most reptiles are carnivores. And if you remember when we talked about carnivores with the amphibians, we know that carnivores are meat eaters or eating other animals. All right, let's look at the second paragraph. Like amphibians, reptiles are vertebrates because they have backbones and internal skeletons. Reptiles continue to grow larger throughout their lives. So very much like the amphibians, they're vertebrates, meaning they have that backbone, okay, and they have an internal skeleton on the inside. Reptiles also continue to grow larger throughout their lives. Very interesting, just like the amphibians. So they also continue to grow. The third paragraph, reptiles have scaly, dry skin. Their scaly skin helps keep moisture inside their bodies and allows them to live in dry habitats. So much to, even though I always think snakes are slimy, they're not really. They're kind of dry and scaly, and I've touched them before, so I try to get over my fear by making sure that I touch them when I have the opportunity in a safe place, but they're still just not my favorite. So much to what people usually think, we do know that reptiles have scaly, dry skin. All right, the fourth paragraph. Reptiles control their body temperatures by moving to warmer or cooler places depending on what they need to live. Reptiles, like amphibians, again, are called poikilothermic. There's that fancy science word. Let's go ahead and highlight that, which we simply means they're cold-blooded. Animals, because their internal body temperatures change with the temperature of their surroundings. All right, paragraph 5. Reptiles, they prefer warm temperatures, not like the amphibians. They prefer cool temperatures. They become inactive in cold or very hot temperatures. When it is very hot, reptiles may go under rocks or into holes in the ground. Okay, so let's highlight that. They prefer warm temperatures. If you've ever gone like Cox Arboretum or anything, and lots of times you'll see like the turtles sitting out on the logs on a warm day, and they kind of get up there and sun themselves and get warm. So they do prefer the warmer temperatures. And the last paragraph, dinosaurs were a large group of prehistoric reptiles that dominated life on land. They first appeared on Earth about 240 million years ago. Dinosaurs disappeared from Earth about 65 million years ago and are now extinct, which in my opinion, just my opinion, is a good thing because they were so big. A lot of them were so big that they would just take over everything. So I do have, Miss Schrader would have shared this with you if you were in here. I have a story about one time when I was in Hilton Head. If you've ever been to Hilton Head and you go around the ponds and things, you know that you'll see alligators at the pond, sometimes out sunning themselves, maybe getting warm, or maybe you'll see their head kind of peeking through the water. Well, I always watch for them when we're near a pond, but this time we were down at the ocean and we heard whistles blowing and people telling me to get out of the water, and I thought, oh my goodness, is there a shark? What's going on? And here there was an alligator in the water, and it was in an area that probably would, the water depth was probably not even up to my knee, and it was swimming around. So someone saw it, thank goodness, and the lifeguards called everybody out. So I went ahead, grabbed my camera to take some pictures of what was going on. And so I wanted to share those pictures with you because it was like watching the crocodile hunter or something. It was crazy the way this happened. So the first pictures there's everyone at, when they called him out, where everyone got out, and of course everyone was watching. And this process took like 2 hours. It was a long time. We were standing in the sun. So there they are in the water. They finally got it up there. They had to use a jet ski and kind of pull it, and kind of force it closer to the beach so that they could kind of get a rope around it. And these two guys came in this. Well, that is where the jet ski was on. But two guys, like crocodile guys, came to get it out. And then they are kind of getting the rope around it. And there you can see it all the way back there. They've got a rope around it and they're pulling it out of the water. Now again, this took a long time to do. There's another picture of them. It's getting a little closer. They're pulling it out. You can see these two guys right up on the truck there, yanking on this thing, and it started spinning. At one point it was like twirling around like it does in the water when it's got something. It was spinning around at one point in the sand. So the one guy jumps down off the truck, goes over and jumps on the back of this thing and pulls the face up and has tape and wraps this tape around the mouth of the alligator or crocodile. To be honest with you, I can't remember which one it was. Then he picks this thing up, puts it up over his shoulders like it's nothing, because he already does it a lot, and starts walking off the beach. And then my last picture, there he is walking with it right there on his shoulder, and everyone's like, oh my goodness. So that's my reptile story that I would have shared with you if you were here. It was amazing. I didn't realize, I asked one of the lifeguards, I said, well, they can't live in salt water, can they? And they said, well, they actually can live in the salt water for up to a month. And I said, well, why would he have gone in the ocean to begin with? And they said lots of times they get skin irritation, almost like an itchy skin irritation, fungus type thing on their skin. And they go in to the salt water and they stay there for a while because the salt water treats it and gets rid of it for them. So who knew? So I didn't know that could happen. So that's my reptile story. Thought I'd share it with you. I hope you enjoyed that. And we have one more lesson to go in our booklet, and that's what we will do on the next video. Bye.